Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your main theme for 2026 reading. I am going to be doing some deeper 2026 readings later on, but for now we're doing the main theme. You have the Scarab Spirit. It says, what appears unusable may still have great value if you look deeper. You have this Bear Tree. It says, don't waste your efforts on something that is clearly not bearing fruit, which is always important, of course. I would be, for like literally the rest of our lives. I think that it's really important that we only work on things that are working. And you could say that it's always true, but really it hasn't always been true, because I feel like some of the past energies from years ago, it's like maybe we could get something to work that like wasn't working, or we could kind of like fix something that wasn't going the way we wanted it to, and that was clearly not working. But we're definitely in a time where we have to like double down on the things that are working, so we just don't have a lot of time to like fix things that aren't. And again, I think it's like true for everyone that we really need to kind of like pay attention to that energy and make sure that we're doing things that are kind of stable long term. And that would be my focus if I were you. I'm doing this Celtic cross. Normally the first card would represent how you are showing up in the reading, but the first card is going to be your main theme for 2026. All the other cards are going to be supporting the main theme. And so you have the Page of Wands. I definitely feel it's a good year for you, even looking at your astrology, to take the lead. We don't really consider the Page of Wands to be a card of taking the lead, but I will tell you this, of course. In April, Uranus moves back into your opposite sign, Gemini. Uranus and Gemini, for you being in your opposite sign, is going to be about you kind of going your own way, doing your own thing, carving your own path, right? And this is going to last for years until 2033, right? And so for a lot of you, you kind of are taking the lead without even doing it. That's like the best part about it, Sagittarius, is that maybe people will be seeing that you're a leader because you're just kind of like living life on your own terms, or you are kind of following your own path. The Page of Wands moves towards his enthusiasm, right? He is a very good card for you. And you also have the Knight of Wands, which I also consider to be a very good card for Sagittarius because, it's kind of like that wanderer energy, that travel, kind of going to unique places, unique destination type energy. And that doesn't even mean that you have to travel. You can do this in the comfort of your own home by learning something new or starting a new project. So I feel that this is about you taking the lead by following your own path, really, or carving your own path at this time. And you could be starting now. I'm recording this at the beginning of December. I think this will be published on the 1st. I'm pretty sure today is the 30th of November. Don't quote me on that. I never know what day it is. But what I would say here is that, even if you're watching this in December, I would say start now. Your crossing energy is the 10 of Pentacles. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you, or both, in a Celtic cross. And the 10 of Pentacles, I just kind of, like, I don't feel bad about this at all, Sag. I just feel that like your vision is coming together, but it's just not all together yet. It's like you have some of the building blocks of your future, but other things are maybe a little bit more unsure, or maybe you don't know what you want in certain areas of your life, right? So what I'm trying to say is that the 10 of Pentacles is understanding your ultimate vision for your life. Like when we have the 10 of Pentacles, it's a good card because it can say that you understand exactly what you want. And when you understand what you want, you can aim towards it and work towards it and get it, right? But if there are certain things that you're not certain about, then it makes it a little bit harder. I don't really feel good or bad about this for you, Sag. I think you're getting clearer on your vision, but it just, it's kind of like coming together. It's like these things are falling into place. Some people say that the 10 of Pentacles, that it's raining these pentacles down on these people. And maybe that's what's happening for you. It's like Tetris. It's like the blocks are falling into place, but they're, it's not like 100% a cohesive vision that you have about your life, like right this second. But you could be developing it, and the funny thing about the Page of Wands is that he has to go on the journey to figure out what his vision is in the first place, right? He has a goal in mind that he wants to achieve. It's something that he's excited about, but his optimism changes on his journey. He might be working this direction towards something, and then he feels more excited about a new direction, right? So he follows his inspirations as he's accomplishing something. He doesn't have the full picture when he's starting. And, I don't know if that's helpful or not for you, Sag. Probably not, because I feel like the reading is saying you just have to get started on your journey. It's like, yeah, you might not know what you want exactly right now, but you will figure it out as you go. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, or the area of what you're thinking about, you have the High Priestess. Uranus and Gemini, I feel, will be very intuitive for you. We don't necessarily consider Uranus and Gemini to be intuitive, but I do feel that Uranus and Gemini, we can download genius ideas, and we can get these kind of like light bulb moments from the universe. And if we start working on those light bulb moments, they will probably lead to, something else. In a lot of ways, I kind of feel like I'm surprised the Magician hasn't shown up in your reading, because, but I also understand why it hasn't. But I just get this feeling that a lot of the things you're doing this year are giving you tools, like on your tool belt. You're going to have experiences that give you a tool that will help you in the future, and probably even help you this year. But it's like you have to have the experience to get the tool, right? And I feel that's almost like what you're downloading this year. You could have a lot of ideas like, oh, I want to go do this thing. Could be anything. It might not seem important, but it just seems to me, and I don't know, kind of a weird message to get for the High Priestess, but it just seems to me like experiences are going to give you a lot of tools, but they might start as downloads. I think that's why it's showing up as the High Priestess. The thing with the High Priestess is she has no roof over her head. And so she represents unlimited potential. But what I'm getting for you intuitively is that you don't know the potential of the things you're going to be doing this year until after. It's like after you have the experiences, you're going to realize, oh, that's a new tool that I now can use to be successful. So I don't know. Kind of seems like an inspiring year for you, where you're going to be following your inspirations. In the area of your foundation, you have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords can be Groundhog's Day, everything being the same over and over and over again. I'm not too worried about it, because we go up to the Six of Swords, which kind of says you're bringing something to an end. But I would say if there's anything that is repeating, I would do this now. Like, this would be a good thing to do before 2026 actually starts, right? So in December. Really, I would say that you probably have until like March. I feel like 2026 doesn't really start till March, basically. The end of February. That's when Saturn and Neptune will both move back into Aries. And also in April, again, we'll have Uranus back in Gemini. But maybe around March, somewhere around there. You have until then to change any repeat circumstances. Nine of Swords is something that keeps happening in your life that you want to change. The Nine of Swords, we just have to get out of bed, right? This person is stuck in the nightmare when they could easily get out of the bed and they could change their situation. So it's about like moving away from things that definitely aren't working. Next, in the area of your past position, this is what you're moving past. You have this change in the wind card and this to be fair card. Yeah, just changes. You've been going through a lot of changes. Wouldn't surprise me if many of you changed jobs last year, or I should say 2025. It could have been 2024 that you changed as well. But I feel like you're noticing that your interests are changing, and the things that your heart belongs to are changing as well. It wouldn't surprise me if even at the beginning of 2026 you decide your heart just doesn't belong to something that has belonged to for a long time. Probably like an interest, a job, something like that. And you could be making that change. You have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords, moving on to calmer shores, so, we'll talk about it. You have the Five of Swords. Again, just based off your astrology for the past many years, I think you've experienced plenty of conflicts with people, right? We've talked about it many times. And I feel you are just choosing to walk away. There's really not much to add to this card, because, he is walking away from these two people. A lot of people read the Five of Swords as a challenging card, but really it's not. It's like, yeah, sure, it can be uncomfortable. Sure, it can hurt sometimes. But at the same time, he is walking away the winner. The Five of Swords can be bad if you're in an argument, for example. It's a card of winning at all cost. That's when it's bad. Like if you have a person in your life that you love or something, and you're just trying to win all the time, then it can be a problem. But, other than that, it can be a card of just cutting out the crap. So I feel a lot of you could just be cutting out things that no longer serve you. could feel a little bit lonely. I actually don't think you're going to be alone at all this year, but I do feel you could be discovering something about your independence or how independent you are. You end with the Nine of Pentacles. But like I said, you're gaining all these tools. There's a big difference between just being alone, but also not being alone, but being independent. And that's what I feel for you. It's like you don't need people. Maybe that's what you're realizing, and you are gaining the tools to be able to support yourself. But, again, that could still mean you can still have people in your life, right? Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this. It says the end of a tough cycle. Thank God is what I'm going to say there. Nine of Swords, right? So this is a very good card to have. You could be ending some sort of difficult cycle. You have this card that says adjustments are required. Yes, we are in a time of iteration. I've said to everyone, we're all being asked to work on the impossible dream right now, but we have to iterate on it. How we start something is not how it's going to end, but that doesn't mean it's not working. I think the problem is the fact that we had Pluto and Capricorn for so long. During Pluto and Capricorn, you can work on something, it can kind of work, and then it doesn't work, and you go back like 20 steps, right? So I think sometimes like Pluto and Capricorn can almost feel like a punishment, because even though it isn't, but it can feel that way because you make progress and then you lose it and you can't get it back, right? The problem I feel for all of us is that now we could almost be afraid to make progress because we're afraid that if we make progress, we're just going to lose it. And the trick is that no, if something isn't working, we just have to adjust. Page of Wands, if this way doesn't work, he just goes this way. He just does something different. He follows his inspiration. So I would just keep moving forward here, Sag. You have the Six of Swords moving forward to calmer shores. So I feel like you are moving forward. I do feel like you're getting unstuck as well. Some people read the Six of Swords as being stuck in the mud. They kind of say that this guy here, the boat might be stuck and he's trying to get them unstuck. He represents a guide. He goes back and forth between the choppy waters. And it is popping into my head. That's why I'm saying it. And I feel a lot of you could be feeling like you're getting unstuck, or you could be doing things that get you unstuck. Again, Uranus and Gemini will be kind of spiritual for you, Sagittarius. You could be getting a lot of downloads from your guides, your ancestors, and those downloads or those inspirations could be kind of pushing you towards calmer shores. And I would definitely allow that to happen. Wouldn't surprise me if there was a big new beginning for you this year, even one that you don't necessarily expect. And so I would be staying open, just looking around here. It just seems to me like there could be a opportunity that comes out of nowhere for you this year. And I'm not trying to be mysterious or anything, but it's like maybe you have a job and like you get headhunted by another job or something, right? And I would be open to those new opportunities. The thing with the Six of Swords is we can feel like we're starting from scratch, but we're not, basically. So, and that is popping into my head for you, Sagittarius, where you could be saying to yourself, like, I just got something new, or I just started this project, for example. Do I really want to change now? And I don't know. I feel like this card is kind of encouraging you to take a cold, hard look at a new opportunity this year. I feel it could show up at any time. I do feel it'll be the first half of the year, the first 6 months or so, that an opportunity appears. Maybe it already has for some of you, and maybe some of you are already taking a cold, hard look at an opportunity. But I feel like it will be worth it. But again, it's like very specific to me. Like I said, it's like I feel like you are saying to yourself, do I really want to start over? Do I really want to go back to the drawing board or something like that? And that's what's popping into my head. For your outcome, you have this impatience card. It says, it takes time to build an empire. Yes, your desire for instant results can hinder your ability to make good decisions. Page of Wands, right? He's on a journey. He's not at the destination, right? You have this fortune card. It says, when fortune appears in your life, limitations disappear. As you sit back and watch your dreams manifest before your eyes, you are filled with a profound sense of gratitude and wonder. Damn. Love that, Sag. So definitely could be feeling very fortunate this year, or it is going to be a fortunate year. I kind of feel like it is because, Uranus and Gemini is very unpredictable. Uranus is unpredictable no matter where it is, but it's like extra unpredictable, I think, in Gemini. Uranus loves Gemini, and it's going to be very important for you, being your opposite sign. But I also feel that you could be being led towards big opportunities, so, I would pay attention. Over the next few months, you have the moon. Yeah, not sure where you're going. Would I worry about this? No. Like I said, the year doesn't really start until March. I think there is a little bit of still retrograde hangover going on at the end of the year here. I feel that, some of us, we might not know exactly where we're going. This is part of the Fool's journey. He has to go from here to these mountains, and then when he gets to the mountains, the sun will probably come up. So, the whole point of the moon is that it's a temporary period of time. We have this dog and wolf, or dog and coyote, whichever you prefer, and they both represent kind of balancing your wild side and your domestic side. Definitely with Uranus and Gemini, I would say, even though it doesn't move back in until April, I would start working with the energy now. And I would make sure that you're balancing those two things. Maybe you're too domestic and you're not wild enough. Maybe you're too wild, you need to be more domestic. I don't know. It's going to be different for all of you. But I would be thinking about, like, if you're, if you're taking really big risks and everything is crumbling around you, it might be time to kind of think about your risks a little bit more. If you're not taking any risks at all and nothing is changing, Nine of Swords, then maybe it's time to be a little bit more wild and to take some bigger risks. And that's what I would do with the Moon card here. Next, in your closest relationships, this is all relationships in your life, you have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands, I feel, wants you to have fun more than anything. This is all relationships, not just love. So I feel it would be a good year for you to have fun. I do feel like you're doing a lot of exploring. As I said at the beginning of the reading, I feel you've learned a lot about people in general in your life and like what they mean, what they do, why they do things, all that, Sagittarius. And this is a good thing. I feel it will help you build better relationships. The Knight of Wands is the true builder in the tarot. So again, if you want better relationships, it would be a good time to build those relationships. Like, you're going to have to put the work in and, make sure you build them in the right way and all that other good stuff. You have the Page of Swords. This is coming up in the area of your future feelings. And the Page of Swords is curious. He is my card of curiosity. Again, not to beat a dead horse here, but, Uranus and Gemini is going to be amazing for you to follow your curiosity. Again, the Page of Wands is just an inspiration. He is just excited about an idea. That's it. And that is your main theme for the year, is the Page of Wands. So anything that excites you, you don't have to fully commit to anything that excites you, but I would research it, right? Like, if you get an idea, an opportunity, the Page of Swords says, ask a lot of questions and see what happens. Don't be afraid of, kind of researching those ideas or opportunities that come your way. Because even if you think you wouldn't want to do something, it's like, if you look a little bit deeper, maybe you will. Your outcome is the Nine of Pentacles, which is amazing. Again, I feel like you're gaining a bunch of tools that are allowing you to be more independent, or allowing you to take care of yourself. I feel like you feel more secure, more safe, like more protected. I don't know, it's like kind of weird because it's popping into my head as your mindset. I don't really necessarily consider Nine of Pentacles to be a mindset card. It could be. There are things that definitely kind of play into that energy, but I feel this is more like, sometimes I think if we do feel safer, it does, it kind of changes other things because we're not having to, worry about everything that's going on around us, right? And so, that could be kind of playing a big part in your mindset, which could be helping you, which could be moving you forward. Amazing card for money as well, of course, so there could be a lot of abundance coming in for you as well. Let's see where this is going for you, Sag. Sag, make sure to like and leave a comment, by the way, it really helps me out. With the Page of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Three of Wands, which is expansion. Yeah, it is a bigger and better year. Like, that's how I would describe the collective energy, is that we should be looking for bigger opportunities and things like that. That doesn't mean it will be bigger and better. It just means if you take advantage of expansive things, then you will expand, and you definitely want to, for sure, at this time here, Sag. So I would be looking for those big opportunities. Sometimes I feel with the Three of Wands, it's like there's nothing behind you. He is looking off into the horizon. He's looking at this water with these boats on the ocean. It's basically saying, go on an adventure, get on those boats. They're going somewhere. He has no freaking clue where they're going. And that is like a theme that is coming up in this reading, is that maybe you don't know the future. No one really does. But, there's something about you kind of like just figuring it out as you go. With the High Priestess, you have the Knight of Swords. Again, Uranus and Gemini, rushing thoughts, rushing ideas, a lot of things popping into your head. The Knight of Swords wants you to slow those things down when it comes up in the area of your thoughts or your mind. Again, I've been telling people all year, especially you in Gemini, that you should probably have a notebook or a note on your phone or something like that where you write down your ideas, because the problem with Uranus and Gemini is it's just like in one ear, out the other, right? You know, you'll get an idea, and if you don't capture it, you're just going to lose it, right? And so I would, at the very least, I would be writing your ideas down. Then you can look at them later, right? And that's what I would do with that card. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Star, which is very good. You know, the Star can be hope, faith, renewal. You know, if you've been stuck for a long time, and you do have that card that says the end of a tough cycle approaches, the Star can be the thing that gives you hope that you are going to change your circumstances. So that's very good. As always, as with all fire signs this year, Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries, even though you're not in Aries, doesn't matter. It's going to affect you a lot because you're a fire sign. You have to be all in. You know, if you're going to do something, if you're going to build something, whatever, doesn't matter what it is, you have to go all the way. You know, she is just dipping her toe in the water there, but she's like kind of hoping she can find out that something will work before it works and all this other stuff. But, you know, again, we have to be all in with that, especially with Saturn in Aries, and anything worth doing is going to be worth like committing to. With the Five of Swords, you have the Devil. Yeah, like I said, clearing out a bunch of past connections, you know, anything that was toxic, any people that held you back, any people that did you dirty. I think you're just cutting that out. With the Six of Swords, you have the Nine of Cups, which is amazing. You know, could say that you are heading right towards a wish or wish fulfillment. I consider the Star and the Nine of Cups to be a make-a-wish combination. So I would definitely make a wish before 2026 and, you know, start working towards it. Although I think the universe could be guiding you towards a wish. The Nine of Cups is also a card of fulfillment. So we have to be in the energy of what we want before we can have it. With the Moon card, you have the Four of Cups. Again, the fear of not getting what you want. I feel a lot of people feel this. Like I already said, you have this full moon in Capricorn card. Like I said, we had Pluto in Capricorn, not this year, but, you know, 2024 and back, we had Pluto in Capricorn. And I think that people are afraid that they're not going to make progress, or they are, and it's going to be taken away. And I do feel that is a fear that pretty much everyone is going to be working through this year. And you might be saying, oh, Pluto's been in Aquarius all year, which is true, but it retrograded this year almost to the beginning of Aquarius. It was like 1.12 degrees or something that it retrograded back to. So we still aren't really out of that energy yet. I think we're being encouraged forward to get out of that energy, but, you know, I also think it still exists. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, get out of the house, right? The Four of Pentacles is a comfort zone. Four of Pentacles is holding on too tightly to the past. So I would just be open to adventure, getting out of the house, meeting new people, you know, finding people that aren't like the past people. And I'm not just talking about love. I'm talking about everything here, Sagittarius. So you really have a great opportunity, I think, to surround yourself and to like build better connections. With the Knight of Swords, there you go. You have the Page of Wands. I knew that these two were connected in some way because I feel like they're just like the same energy in this reading. I feel, or, you know, maybe a better way to put it is that this is the same opportunity that you're looking at. You know, and I think embracing the energy of the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords, being curious, going on adventures, you know, that's going to be the best thing for you. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Hermit. Yeah, the Hermit wants you to get out of hermit mode, of course, but at the same time, you do have this card that says the end of a tough cycle approaches. The Hermit has been through a dark night of the soul. He has found his inner light. And, you know, it could be a great time for you to, like, shine your inner light or to stand out in some way. So I would be doing things that make you stand out. You know, it's like, if you think about it, you have the star here. He has the star in a lantern, and, you know, your star is like who you attract. Light attracts bugs. But, you know, obviously you want to attract good bugs here, good people, right? You have this assertion card. Yeah, amazing time for you to be assertive. Again, Saturn and Aries especially. I think all fire signs could be, you know, should probably be more confident, assertive, bold, working towards what they want to work towards this year. You have this resistance card. Yes, definitely time to push through the resistance. I feel like this is saying you are very close to achieving a goal. My favorite book of all time, The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. He says, when we are closest to our goal, that is when we feel the most resistance. So if you are feeling resistance, it's probably because you are very close to accomplishing something. So don't give up now, which I've been saying to you all year, 2025. You have this birth card. Yeah, like a lot of things are birthing. Six of Swords, it's like you're moving from one thing to another, and it could just be the birth of a new opportunity or the birth of a new job that's coming in. Sure, we'll take both. You have this discrimination and this concentration card as well. The discrimination card is about being able to tell the difference between something that's right and wrong for you. The concentration card just says concentrate on it. Like I've said to you before, I feel like you have learned like who and what is right for you, and as long as you pay attention to that, you will be fine. And finally, you have this ostentation card. Same thing. This card is about being able to tell the difference between something that's real and something that's imaginary. And so I feel a lot of you, it's like your vision is very clear this year, which is good. But this looks pretty good, Sag. I do like it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like, leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your year.